Good morning, YouTube. What do you do when you're not too sure where your next month's guaranteed rent is gonna come from? What do you do when you're not too sure where your next month's guaranteed rent is gonna come from? So, it's 10th of the 2nd, 2025, 5 a.m. and I'm wide awake. In terms of my journey so far on the second property, we managed to pay the first month's rent, but obviously now we're not too sure where the second month's rent's gonna come from. Investor that said obviously he had some money, something's come up, he's had to use that money, and currently we've only got enough money to pay for the upcoming rent for the first property. We haven't got enough money to pay for the second upcoming rent for the second property that I'm moving tenants into now. I've managed to get 2 tenants in. They paid the first month's rent, those 2 tenants, but that's not enough. It's not enough at all to cover the rent that's coming up on the 30th. So that's where we're at. Obviously I can ask those 2 tenants to pay a little bit earlier, so they'll pay about 3-4 days earlier, but at the same time that still don't be enough to cover the total rent of 3,005. One tenant pays about 825, another tenant pays about 600, so it's not enough to cover it. I have got another tenant moved into a property, but fortunately he's going through universal credit, but they pay directly to us, but they don't pay advanced rent. All they pay is rent 1 month behind. Basically they don't pay advanced rent, so they pay for the month behind. So by the time the rent is guaranteed again and the rent is due on the 30th, today's the 10th, his universal credit might not still have come through. And again, even with his rent on top, it's still not completely enough, but it would help. It's still not completely enough. So how am I going to overcome this? What am I going to do? Not completely sure. I've overcome the first hurdle of paying the first month's rent. How I overcome the second hurdle, not too sure. That's exactly why I'm up at 5 a.m. on a Monday trying to figure out what to do after I went bed late yesterday helping a tenant move in. It's the journey, it's the grind. We keep grinding, we keep going. As you can see, I'm tired, but we keep grinding, we keep going, and hopefully, God willing, we figure this one a way out, as God has always guided us and been with us.